Today, we're diving deep into the mysteries of Imu-sama and the shocking truths of the Nerona family in One Piece. Who exactly is the enigmatic Nerona family, and what secrets lie behind the fact that Imu-sama has existed for over 800 years? We'll also touch upon the relationship between D-Clan, Imu-sama, and Nika, and what kind of group is the D-Clan, and what are they aiming for? These mysteries hidden in the world of One Piece will be a clue to unravel them all. If you find this content interesting, please do hit like and subscribe to our channel. If you have a different theory, please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let's share our explorations and enjoy this journey of mystery solving together. Please note, this video contains spoilers up to the most recent episodes. Now, let's get started right away. Even the Five Elders, the highest authorities of the world government, look up to the mysterious entity known as Imu-sama. Imu-sama is, without exaggeration, the most enigmatic figure in the story, but some mysteries are revealed up to episode 1086. The fact uncovered can be broadly divided into 3 points. The first 20 kings include Saint Imu of the Nerona family, Emporio Ivankov. Firstly, there's a very high possibility that the name of Imu-sama is Nerona Saint Imu. Understood, the world goes according to the creator's will, Marcus Mars Sama. The second one is spoken by the Five Elders, who are the pinnacle of the celestial dragons. Secondly, it's almost certain that Imu-sama is one of the first 20 kings from 800 years ago and is the creator of the world. Lastly, the third point is that Imu-sama has some kind of ability. In this video, we want to focus on these 3 points and explore them further. Firstly, the fact that Imu-sama's real name is Saint Imu from the Nerona family has been revealed. What grabs our attention next is the family name Nerona, revealed in episode 1086. Regarding the origin of the Nerona family, there's speculation on the internet and SNS. It's a play on words involving kanji, ni plus rona plus na equals shen, translating to God. Indeed, with this logic, Imu-sama's name can be interpreted as a name derived by breaking down the kanji for Buddha into katakana. Indeed, with this logic, Imu-sama's name can be interpreted as a name derived by breaking down the kanji for Buddha into katakana. God and Buddha, invisible entities revered worldwide. Imu-sama, who doesn't show himself but is at the pinnacle of the world in the story, has some parallels here. Or it might be a simple naming due to Oda-sensei, who likes puns. However, Imu-sama, being the pinnacle of the world government and a crucial entity, might have a family name that hides something related to the future story. What we want to focus on is Imu-sama's position. In episode 1086, along with the mystery of Imu-sama, the names of all 5 elders were revealed. From there, it is considered that Oda-sensei characterized the 5 elders with Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn as motifs. Moreover, Oda-sensei depicts entities named after planets related to the world government. If the poneglyph is read, it's possible to revive the ancient weapons causing a crisis in the world, 5 elders. That is, the 3 ancient weapons that the world government ostensibly maintains for peacekeeping: Uranus, Poseidon, and Pluto. Moreover, there is a possibility that what Imu-sama used to annihilate the Lelouchia kingdom in episode 1060 is the ancient weapon Uranus. Of course, what was used on the Lelouchia kingdom was undoubtedly the Mother Flame, which Imu-sama spoke of, created by Vegapunk. At the current point where the true nature of the Mother Flame is not revealed, the Mother Flame itself is not a weapon. However, we cannot rule out the possibility that it is something key to activate Uranus. Something black, which can't be explained as some creature or natural phenomenon, was flying above the clouds, Sabo. Either way, in episode 1086, Ivankov also speaks from Sabo's testimony that it is a weapon. In other words, it is definitely a weapon that is equivalent to ancient technology that can blow up an entire island. Even with a technician like Vegapunk, it is hard to believe that such technology can be created easily. Also, Dragon asserts that Vegapunk doesn't make blatant killing tools. Even looking at the situation, it makes sense to think that Imu-sama used an ancient weapon in the Lelouchia kingdom. If this hypothesis is correct, Imu-sama can control ancient weapons named after planets while being accompanied by subordinates named after the 5 stars. If Imu-sama, who is closely related to celestial bodies, has Nerona as a family name, some celestial meaning can be speculated to be embedded in it. In that case, Imu-sama's position corresponds with the remaining blue star. That means it could be considered equivalent to the Earth in the solar system in the real world. Therefore, the meaning of the Earth may be hidden in Nerona, but it's a bit early to conclude that. Actually, in episode 1086, there is a very high possibility that Imu-sama's true identity is Saint Imu from 800 years ago. And who was the most formidable enemy Imu-sama fought 800 years ago? Yes, that's probably Joy Boy. And Joy Boy, like Luffy, was a user of the human fruit, mythical type model, Nika. Since Nika is also known as the sun god, Imu-sama is an entity opposing the sun. Ever since ancient times, celestial bodies closely associated with the sun, just like planets, have been depicted. Yes, I'm talking about the moon. Did you know that within the word Nerona, there's a hidden term that represents the moon? That term is Rona. Interestingly, this Rona shares its name with the moon goddess in Polynesian and Hawaiian mythologies. What's more captivating is Rona's role. She's said to be the sister of the sun god Maui and is believed to govern night and death. There's also a tale that suggests Rona originally worked on the moon. Now, if we speculate, like many are doing online, that Imu-sama might be someone who migrated from the moon to our blue planet, then it wouldn't be surprising if Ishiro Oda, paying homage to global myths and legends, incorporated this into his plot. Now, I bet some of you are wondering, but isn't there a high chance that Imu-sama is male? From chapter 1086, where Ivankov referred to Imu as Imu-sama and king, it's pretty certain that Imu-sama is male. Because if Im were female, the celestial dragons would have called her sanctuary, not saint. However, we'll dive into this reason later. But it's possible that the Nerona family lineage was dominated by powerful women. Alright, so we've tackled Rona, but what about the remaining part Ni? Looking back at Nerona, we can break it down into Nero and Rona. Now, Nero might ring a bell for many of you. Exactly, Emperor Nero, the notorious 5th emperor of the Roman Empire. Nero was power-hungry, eliminating anyone in his way. Known as a tyrant, his actions resonate with Imu's habit of erasing threats. Should we erase the flame that should be extinguished from history once again? The 5 elders. This is very much in line with how Imu from the story has systematically eliminated any obstacles, just like in the narrative. But what's even more terrifying about Nero is that he even took out his own mother. The reasons behind Nero's act suggest that the Nerona family might have been a lineage where women held considerable power. While Nero was always ruthless and violent, he wasn't born with power. Initially, it was his mother, Agrippina, who had the reins. When Nero ascended the throne, he was quite young. Now, Agrippina's father was Germanicus Julius Caesar, the empire's top soldier, and her husband was the 4th emperor, Claudius Nero Caesar, making her an influential political figure. Also, Nero's aunt Messalina was another powerhouse. Thus, Nero's surroundings were always dominated by influential women. From this, it's likely that until the birth of Saint Imu, the Nerona family had women serving in power or at least in strong positions. In conclusion, Nerona Imu-sama can be interpreted as a member of a matriarchal lineage from the moon who eventually turned tyrannical. Next, I'd like to contemplate Imu-sama being one of the first 20 kings from 800 years ago and the creator of the world. 3 significant questions arise here. The first is about Imu-sama's position among the 20 kings. The second is why Imu-sama became the Soul King. And lastly, the third is why he or she wants to bury history. Let's go through them in order. The first question that emerges upon realizing Imu-sama as the creator of the world is his or her position among the 20 kings. 800 years ago, 20 kings created a massive organization called the World Government, Papug. As Papug speaks in chapter 497, it is revealed that the current world government was created by 20 kings. It raises curiosity about Imu-sama's position among these 20 kings. Conclusively, it's considered that he or she was a person who harbored the most hostility toward a certain massive kingdom, and he or she was central in conceiving the organization known as the world government among the 20 kings. Firstly, It's revealed that 800 years ago, Imu-sama and the 20 kingdoms were hostile towards a certain massive kingdom. D is the name of those we once opposed, Imu-sama. And it's more likely that this massive kingdom was the kingdom of the D clan, as it was revealed in chapter 1085 that Imu-sama was opposed to the D clan. And a sense of animosity and hatred towards the D clan is conveyed through Imu-sama's words. On the other hand, how about the current celestial dragons? In my hometown, children are disciplined like this. If you're naughty, D will eat you. Don Quixote, Rocinante. As Rocinante speaks in chapter 764, while the D clan is feared by the celestial dragons, there is no tradition left of them as nemesis to be defeated. Because if 19 of the royal families who moved to Marie Joyce had the same intense hostility towards the D clan as Imu-sama, in that case, a tradition like D must be eradicated at all costs, should have remained among the celestial dragons. And among the 20 royal families, it is revealed that one royal family, Nefertari D. Lily, was one of the D clan. Thus, it is highly likely that the 18 kings, excluding Lily and Imu-sama, fought with the motive of simply fearing and wanting to defeat the massive kingdom. Therefore, it is assumed that Imu-sama, who can be presumed to have clear hostility towards the D clan among the 20 kings, and Imu-sama took the lead in opposing the massive kingdom. Next, it is presumed that Imu-sama was also a central figure in the establishment of the organization World Government. There's one worst-case scenario in this past that has happened. Was the release of the poneglyph truly a mistake, or was it planned? Imu-sama. In Imu-sama's dialogue in chapter 1085, what's noteworthy is the expression scenario regarding Queen Lily's actions. He or she regards the cause of the will of D still lingering in the scholars and pirates due to the mistake of Lily. This, at the least, proves that there was a plan within Imu-sama for the establishment of the world government up to its inception. Thus, Imu-sama can be perceived as a core planner in the establishment of the world government among the 20 kings. From the above, it can be concluded that Imu-sama, even among the 20, was certainly opposed to the D clan. And after defeating them, Imu-sama was a proactive entity in creating the world government. Continuing on, a question arises upon the revelation that Imu-sama is the creator of the world. The second point of curiosity is why Imu-sama became the sole king. To put the conclusion first, fundamentally, those aside from Imu-sama were not interested in the administration of the world government. There are points that can be understood about this reason from various depictions in the series. First of all, Nefertari Lily did not migrate to the Holy Land Marie Joyce, and being of the D family is thought to have been in opposition to the organization of the world government itself. And the remaining 18 royal families were basically not as proactive as Imu-sama in the administration of the world government. Are you sane? Holy homing, are you trying to throw away the status of God and degrade into a human, celestial dragon? This is because, as depicted in the series, many of the celestial dragons are content with their status, and there is not a single depiction of them contemplating governance or the common people. In that respect, as made clear in chapter 1086, Imu-sama, who gives positions such as scientific defensive war god to the 5 elders, has a firm will to administer the government. Of course, even among the celestial dragons, there are those like the 5 elders and Saint Figurlin Galling who are suited for roles within the organization. However, what interests the numerous celestial dragons the most from their depictions is being in a dominant position. If their status is stable, they have a nature of leaving other matters to others. If there was a king among the remaining 18 kings who was obsessed with the position of administering the world government, they would not have approved of Imu-sama sitting on the throne. Even supposing that Imu-sama, a being who obtained an immortal body through the op fruit, had ascended to the throne after the 18 kings died. If there were people among the 18 royal families who were dissatisfied with Imu-sama being at the pinnacle, conflict should have arisen promptly. Of course, since there is an organization known as God's Knights that can manage celestial dragons, the possibility of there having been a conflict among the celestial dragons in the past cannot be discarded. Even so, The possibility of there having been a king who rebelled against Imu-sama from among the 18 royal families is quite low. The biggest basis for this is a line from one of the 5 elders, Saint Marcus Mars. The Nefertari family is, as of 800 years ago, the only bloodline of the first 20 that remained in the outer world, in a way, traitors. Marcus Mars Saint. Yes, the only one among the bloodlines of the first 20 people whom the 5 elders refer to as traitors is the Nefertari family. Mars Saint is speaking this way in chapter 908. Suppose among the 18 kings there was a king who was dissatisfied with Imu-sama being at the pinnacle and rebelled. In that case, the 5 elders should certainly describe them as traitors who turned against their lord Imu-sama. Thus, it can be conjectured that the 18 kings did not find it objectionable for Imu-sama to sit on the throne. And from the nature of the majority of the current celestial dragons, the war with the massive kingdom was over. It's a natural progression to think that after the war with the massive kingdom, the celestial dragons, who sought only their own peace, left the administration of the world government to Imu-sama. From the above, it can be considered reasonable that Imu-sama would reign on the throne of the world government. However, one question remains here. Why is Imu-sama in the position of administering the world government, hiding in the flower room of Pangaea Castle? From Imu-sama instructing the 5 elders on the light that should be extinguished from the world, it is understood that there is a will to grasp the world order with the world government at its pinnacle, or to maintain balance. However, even so, the reason for not standing at the forefront is that it is beneficial. Specifically, not standing in the public eye equals not standing at the forefront. In other words, the concealment of Imu-sama's existence. By doing this, there is a benefit of protecting secrets, such as Imu-sama's background, abilities, and the secret of longevity as one of the creators. So, what is Imu-sama protecting in his or her existence from? Yes, naturally it's the enemy, the D family. In other words, until the D family is completely eradicated and the will of D is completely exterminated, Imu-sama intends not to appear on the public stage and is thought to be ruling from behind. If you turn it around, Imu-sama is still afraid of D. As evidence, considering that he or she prioritizes interrogating Cobra about the contents of Lily's letter and whether the release of the poneglyph was a mistake or whether it was planned, it makes sense. And the third question is why Imu-sama desires to bury history in darkness. As previously explained, the primary reason is that Imu-sama fears the D family. Your world government fear the massive battle that will one day come involving the whole world, Edward Newgate. As Whitebeard prophesied in chapter 576, it is evident that the world government fears a massive battle above all else. Naturally, Imu-sama, who reigns at the apex of the world government, is no exception. So, who will instigate this massive battle? Naturally, it is by the D family, who once opposed the world government and inherited the will of D and those who agree with them. Imu-sama wishes to bury history in darkness to prevent the dissemination of the philosophy and the will of D, held by the D family, and considering this aligns everything. Within the series, the world government prohibits deciphering the poneglyphs and regards knowing about the Void Century as taboo. All were to prevent the resurgence or revival of the D family and secretly annihilate them, which were Imu-sama's true objectives. And the motive that can be considered for this is that there is a high possibility that Imu-sama is also a human of a special family, such as the D family. Nushi, why have you only been saying Queen Lily of Nefertari family since earlier? Imu-sama. There was a king named Saint Imu of the Nerona family, Emporio Ivankov. In chapters 1085 and 1086, Oda-sensei is employing the unnatural direction of not calling full names consecutively. There is some reason for this, and in the case of Nefertari Lily, it has been revealed that her name was Nefertari D. Lily. Considering this, in the case of Nerona Saint Imu, there is a possibility that some kind of middle name, such as Nerona Saint Imu, enters. Earlier, I explained that Rona of Nerona could be the moon goddess in Polynesian mythology, and I explained that there is a theory that Lona was once the sibling of the sun god, And the Nerona family of Imu-sama may also be a blood relative that shares blood with the D family, which harbored the sun god. For instance, like how the Fujiwara family branched into the Kono family in Japanese history. It is entirely possible to think that the D family also has a branch family that inherited a different will. In the series, characters with new middle names, such as Aizen, Baron V, Nas, Juro, Saint and Shepherd, 10 Peter Saint, also appear. It wouldn't be strange even if Imu-sama had a middle name. And if Imu-sama had a middle name, as explained so far, the possibility of being a special family that inherits a will different from the D family is extremely high. From the above, Imu-sama, incompatible with them, regards the D family, which will likely cause a massive battle, as enemies. They are stubbornly trying to bury history, which harbors the risk of spreading that will. And in that case, if you trace back to the source, the possibility also arises that Imu-sama was potentially a sibling who once shared blood with the sun god. Finally, let's dive into the abilities of Imu-sama. From chapter 1085, it is almost confirmed that Imu-sama is a power user of some sort, as their form was evidently transformed. To conclude, they possess the characteristics of the fire drake and the Baphomet, a symbol of a pagan god. I postulate that they are a power user modeled after a creature unknown to the Blue Star. Firstly, from the silhouette that took Sabo's rock bet in chapter 1085, it's likely a creature with a large mouth sprouting massive fangs. Moreover, considering it absorbed Sabo's flame fruit attack, it could be a creature capable of consuming fire. An entity that combines these traits is the Fire Drake, a fire dragon that appears in Celtic lore. Notably, the Fire Drake is not merely a mythical beast that devours and is shrouded in flames, it's a dragon with the role of protecting treasure. You see, I know about the vital national treasure inside Holy Land Marie Joyce, Don Quixote do Flamingo. As Doflamingo stated, a treasure is concealed in Marie Joyce. You could say that Imu-sama, essentially the supreme authority inside Marie Joyce, is an entity that protects this treasure. Next, I'd like to focus on Imu-sama's method of attack, which resembles an arrow. If this is not a weapon, but something that extends from Imu-sama's body, there is a creature with a body shaped like an arrow. That creature is a devil. Who would have thought there would be a hell at the top of the world? Sabo. If Sabo's expression in chapter 1086 referred to an entity close to a devil, everything fits. And if Imu-sama was a devil, they could be presumed to occupy a position like Baphomet. The main basis for this is that the world government founded by Imu-sama is likely modeled after the Kingdom of France. Both the world government and the Kingdom of France established an absolute monarchical governing system. And despite differing names, heavenly tribute, and taxes, they have a taxing system that oppressively burdens the citizens and the people more than necessary. Furthermore, both nations existed for approximately 800 years. It goes without saying for the world government, which was established after the Void Century 800 years ago. And the Kingdom of France was a nation that existed for about 800 years, from 987 AD to 1789 AD. Additionally, the naming of Marie Joyce and the design of Panacea Castle closely resemble the Chambord Castle. And the Templar Knights, which are speculated to be related to the D family, were also a knighthood founded in France. And the pagan god that these Templar Knights were suspected of worshipping during the Heresy trials was Baphomet. Initially, I explained that the name Nerona House might have involved Oda Sensei's playful spirit in converting the kanji for god into katakana. If that were the case, if we regard the Templar Knights as gods opposed by Imu-sama in the setup, everything aligns regarding Imu-sama's confrontation with the D family. Furthermore, what I want to highlight is that the inverted pentagram design is used as a key to the black magic handled by Baphomet. This inverted pentagram, widely used among Satanists from the Middle Ages to the present, is known as the Devil's Star in the West, symbolizing the devil. And this pentagram represents the 5 directions assigned to 5 stars. Thus, it can be perceived to be related to the 5 elder stars. From this, Baphomet's position completely links with the world government, the Nerona House, and Imu-sama, who commands the 5 elders. Lastly, there's a high probability that it originates from an entirely unknown creature, combining the features discussed in the speculation. Since the appearance of the sun god Nika, it's been established that beings entirely original to Oda-sensei, not merely mythical beasts, exist in the world of One Piece. Of course, I think such beings would not be introduced easily, but there is enough possibility that Imu-sama holds a special slot comparable to Luffy or Blackbeard. Thus, it wouldn't be strange at all if Oda-sensei played the card of a completely original creature here. And since the serialization of the cover story, Enel's Great Space Operation, the existence of the moon has been kept a secret. As initially explained, considering the name Nerona and Imu-sama's connection to the 5 Elder Stars and the ancient weapons related to the planet, Imu-sama is outside of the blue star, right? Thus, it wouldn't be unnatural for us readers to accept even if Imu-sama were a power user modeled after a creature from the moon. From the above, it can be concluded that Imu-sama's ability derives from a completely unknown creature, incorporating settings such as the Fire Drake and Baphomet. By the way, if naming a devil fruit, it might be given a simple name, like horse fruit from the unidentified creature Uma. Or there might be a possibility of it being a mythical beast type, dragon fruit that uses a dragon, which has yet to appear in the work as a model. Perhaps a divine beast type existence superior to the mythical beast type might also be possible. That's the feeling with which I have been speculating. That's it for today. This channel posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we would be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting. Thank you for watching till the end. See you in the next video.